Hi, we're trying something new as a filming spot, even if it's only for the intro, because we have to move to my workspace in a moment. I had suddenly this idea because I was scrolling through my old art and I saw these drawings I made. I think this was popular on Instagram some months back, but the challenge was to switch your iPad to black and white mode and then search on the internet a random color scheme and use this to draw a portrait. And since I have these portrait styles that I really like and trying to develop, I thought how fun would it be to use this. That's the plan. Making a color palette in Procreate without looking to the colors, and then based on the contrast making my portrait. So let's move the camera. Here we are once again. Square. First, I will show you how to put the black and white modes on. You go to settings and then color. You go to color filter and you put this on. You have also other options if you think that's fun. You can blue, yellow filter or green. You see how the colors change. But we're going for grayscale. Okay, what I like to do is go to Pinterest. It's so much harder to find your icons once they are black and white. Procreate, color scheme, color palette. Okay. I'm trying to find one. Terra and Rust sounds cool, but I have an idea of what it will be like, all those Terra colors. Retro Rainbow is maybe a good one, because it implies that all the colors are there. I'm gonna go with this one. Insert a photo. Create palette. Okay, we have a color palette. And now we can remove this one. I do take my sketch because that's just the easiest. By the way, this is also proof that it's really black and white for me. Once I start screen recording, you may think like you could have done it in the edit, but I didn't. Take the sketch. Now we need some inspiration. I'm gonna go on Pinterest here. You cannot see it, but I will do hairstyles. Oh yes, oh, I already see what I want. It's something, it's okay, anyway, it doesn't really matter. The sketch I will do in the same color because it's just a sketch. It doesn't matter that much. Okay. And then she has like these braids coming from pretty much here already. Once our sketch was ready, it was time to start outlining the design, the portrait. And as you can see, I use my guidelines for this and then I make it an assisted layer so that it does like the same movements, the same lines on both sides, because we love symmetry. We love it looking clean and even. And I used my dry ink brush for this, which is my absolute fave. Then it was time to work with our color palette, and I found this so tricky. I started to map out the colors. I most of the time make my line art layer a reference layer so that I can fill in the colors on different layers, but that doesn't always work as smoothly, so there are some things that I need to color in by hand. And I was mainly focusing on the contrast, but sometimes you just know how a color palette works, and that is if there are multiple greens, the greens are most of the time next to each other. So, for example, I chose my eyebrow color and my hair color next to each other because that would make sense in my head that those two colors would be alike. But we cannot know everything. For the eye colors, for the skin color, it was just seeing whether or not it would work out. And at some point I didn't even know which color I already used and which colors I still needed to use. And it was such an interesting process because if it was grayscale, like only grayscale, I would have my tints and there wouldn't be as much different grayscale tints. But now there are a lot of tones to choose from, which makes it so much harder to really make a whole colored in version of this. I always put an alpha lock on my line art layer so that I can match the colors of the line art with the actual colors of the hair color, the skin color, you name it. But that's practically impossible because I can't see the difference between where I already drew and where I still have to color it in. So I've decided that things like that I will clean up at the end once I did see the colors, because I won't change the colors anymore. I only will just make sure it blends in with the line art. And last but not least, I started to add the details, to add some textures with the brushes. I love my spray paint brush, I love my chalk brush, and really make sure that everything was blended together. I did use my color picker for this because I scaled it up in tint or in hue so that it would match the actual color that the hair had or the eyes had. So I didn't use my basic colors that much anymore, which could have been fun, but that was not the way I did it. It's time for the big reveal. So we're going to first, okay, this is the color palette. You see it? I'm so interested because the skin can be very sickish. There are no really skin color tints. Low-key a few. I'm scared. Wow, this is actually really cool. I mean, how lucky I did choose colors. Like the green one, I did the eyebrows very close to the green that I picked, because then I knew that the color would probably be close. I had hoped that this was more red. Wait, let me show the color palette, how it was placed. Okay, I've stayed away from the blues and the very pinkish red colors. It's so interesting. But it also feels like there is a filter on it or something. Okay, let's clean it up. We finished her. So this is the video. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. If you liked the video, now she's gone. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, comment. You guys know the drill. And until the next one, bye.